Hello everyone, welcome to today's webinar. My name is Asad and I work at Implementation Specialists as a BC consultant. So today's webinar will cover how to create a sales order, and we'll go ahead and pay for that sales invoice as well. So we will get started with creating a sales order in Business Central. You can either search for a sales order, or you can go to sales and navigate to the sales orders. All right, once you click there, you will see the list of all the sales orders on your left side. You can see different filters. You can always create more filters with the sales orders depending on different fields. So here we'll simply go ahead and create a new sales order. So we'll click on the new, and we will select the customer from the customer list. I'll pick the first one. And as soon as I pick the customer, it fills in his details. So after that, if you click on show more, you can fill in more information as it brings his address and other related details. If you want to update your salesperson code, or if it's not already there and you want to assign your salesperson, you can do that, and other fields that you can populate. So next, to General tab, we have lines. This is where we'll enter our items or our services. There are different types that you can add. You can add resources, fixed assets, charge items, allocation accounts, GL accounts, right? Or you can simply add comments, right? If you want to add some comments. In this case, we'll enter the items. We'll go ahead and sell some items. So in order to add the first item, I'll pick Athens desk, and the quantity, I'll pick three of those, and 3 pieces of Athens desk, and I'll pick the location where I'm shipping these merchandise from. So in BC, we have created multiple locations. So I'll select the main warehouse. This is where I'm shipping the merchandise from. And the BC automatically populates a unit price if it's already assigned. And for the total of 3, it gives you the total including tax and basically amount excluding tax. Furthermore, you have more fields on the line where it says how much we need to ship, how much we have shipped so far, what we need to invoice, and what is going to be invoiced. Once we post the order, quantity to ship will be 0 and quantity shipped will be 3. Likewise, the quantity to invoice will be 0 and quantity invoiced will be 3. You can add any discount if you want to add discount for the particular item. And you have tons of fields that if you want to populate, you can. These are not mandatory, but you can still do the rest, right? And here we have created dimensions. So these are basically the dimensions. You may not see them as you won't have any dimensions if you haven't created any. So we have added one item. Let's go ahead and add one more item to our sales order. I will select Paris guest chair, and I will add one piece of that chair, and I want to ship that item out of my main warehouse as well. And I got the total amounts. Similarly, just like we add 2 items, you can add as many items as you want. As you click on the next line, it will let you enter more items. So once you're done with entering all the items that you want to sell, you will get, as you enter the items, you will get the subtotal, total taxes, and the amount after taxes, right? The net amount after taxes. So once you make sure, verify that the amount looks good, the items that you wanted to sell are already populated, you would go down to the invoicing section where you would check if the terms are good. You know, for this customer, we have 1 month terms, and if he pays within 8 days, he'll get a discount. 2% discount if he pays within 8 days. Similarly, you have other payment terms that you can assign. Payment method, tax liable, and basically we have selected the tax area code. These are our dimensions that we selected for this particular customer. Next to that, we have shipping and billing. If you want, you know, by default, Business Central is gonna pick his default address that's on the customer card. If the customer wants us to ship the merchandise to a different location, we can either select a custom and we can basically edit the address and all the fields related to the address. Or else we can, if you want to have those addresses saved, because let's say they have multiple 3 to 4 or 2 or 3 warehouses, and sometimes they want us to ship at one location, sometimes they want us to ship at the other, then you can simply add their alternative addresses where you can quickly pick that address and you can ship to that address. In this case, I'll stick to default, where we'll ship the merchandise to customer's default address. Likewise, for the billing, you have those 3 options: default, another customer if you want to ship, charge another customer, or if you want to add a different custom address. And the last piece is prepayment, where if you have a prepayment setting with the customer and you want to populate what percentage do you want to collect from the customer as a prepayment, you can enter that here. So once you verify the customer details, the number of items, the total that you're gonna want to sell, and the address that where you want to ship, you can go ahead and post the order. In some cases where customers have a warehousing module set up and where they create warehouse shipments, pick documents, that's where they will go ahead and create the warehouse shipment. And people who don't have a warehouse set up, they can simply click on the post. As soon as you click on the post, you will have 2 options, 3 options. One will be ship. The second will be invoice. This will create a shipment document and it won't create an invoice. This will create an invoice. It will not create a shipment document. And if you select the third option, this will automatically create a shipment document for you. At the same time, it will create an invoice. So we have posted the sales order. Now that sales order will go to archive, and the system has created a posted invoice for that order. We'll go ahead and take a look at the invoice. So same details, customer details, and the total items on the invoice, and it also charged the total amount. So as we can see, the amount here is $3,386.91. So this would be the invoice where usually typically people wanted to send it to the customers. So now that we have shipped the merchandise and we send an invoice to the customer, we'll go ahead and look at how we can register payments sent by the customer. So there are multiple methods for each. In Business Central, that's one of the beauty of Business Central, that you can do one thing by multiple different ways. So whichever way suits you the best, you can do that. In this session, I will show you two of the methods where you can register customer payments. One will be bank deposits. All right, in the bank deposit, I will create a new bank deposit. I will pick up the bank deposit number in the numbering series. Usually it's set up as incremental numbering series where system automatically picks the next available number. I will select the bank account number. Here I will select the checking. Next one is I'll come down rather than enter. You can enter the amount, let's say whatever the customer, whatever the deposit that you are going to do, or you can do it at the end after you populating the lines. So here, I'll select the customer. I'll select the customer number. All right, after you select customer, we will come down here and go to function, and we will say apply entries. As we can see, for this customer, there are different payments being made. There's a credit memo, there's a payment, and you can see the invoices as well. Our most recent was this order where we shipped merchandise for the customer for $3,386. So we'll go ahead and let's say customer has paid us this amount for this invoice. So we'll click on the field under applies to ID, and we'll click on set applies to ID. This will apply the document number to that particular invoice. Now that we have picked what invoice we want to pay, we will enter the amount that customer has paid us for that invoice. In this case, let's say customer has paid us $3,319.17. As I have entered the amount, you would notice that the difference has gone to zero. Before I enter any amount, the difference was this number. So basically, the system makes sure that whatever the amount's being paid, that is applied to the document. So if there's a difference between the lines and the deposit amount, the system will not let you post. Now that we have zero difference, you can go ahead and post this transaction. I'll do post and print. Okay, now that it's posted, you can simply print and send it to the customer for the details. So this was the first method how we take the payment from the customer via bank deposit. Now, let's take a look at the second method. Which is cash receipt journal. All right, in the cash receipt journal, you would select the batch name, right batch, and once you select the batch, you can start populating the lines. In this case, the first thing is the document. So I will register payment, and the account is a customer, and I'll pick the right account for that customer. Let's say I want to pay, or let's say the customer has paid his payment for one of the invoice. So I will select the right customer. So in this case, let's go ahead and pick a customer, Alpine Ski House. All right. So the balancing amount in the balancing account type, we will see where that money will go, right? So we'll select a bank account, and we want that money went to our checking account. All right. Once you do that, you will select apply entries, where since this customer don't have any transactions, we will select a different customer. I'll select the first one again. Now this customer has different payments, credit memos, invoices, and some of the invoices are past due, as you can see in red. Right, so we have selected the right customer. So what we'll do is we'll simply apply entries, and we will, for example, against this invoice, we want to take the payment. So we'll click on applies to ID, and then we'll click set applies to ID. So the system has applied the ID against this invoice. Now that you selected the right invoice for this payment, you can see that the number has automatically populated in the credit amount. We'll go ahead and post this transaction, and the journal lines were successfully posted. So basically, we have paid two of the invoices for this customer, one through bank deposits, the second through cash receipt journals. So in this session, we looked at how we can create a sales order, how we can ship a sales order, and then we collected payments two ways. One was the bank deposit, and the second was cash receipt journals. So that ends our today's topic. But before you go, I wanted to talk about our BC Kickstart program. In Kickstart, we basically do a hands-on training to our customers. So what it would include is you have 5,000, we give 5,000 credit towards your migration. And we also provide 5,000 WS tools to help streamline your GP to BC processes. And it's 2 days of hands-on Business Central training. So you will have a hands-on training on different modules in Business Central. In order to qualify, you need to purchase a minimum of 5 BC users, be it essentials or premium licenses. The second is ensure that your licensing is through implementation specialists. So these are the two qualification scenarios, and you can be the part of our Kickstart program, where we'll take you step by step from starting with the hands-on training to the implementation and giving you credit towards your implementation cost. So we are very excited. If you're interested, you can reach out at the number or our email, and we'll talk to you soon. So this ends our today's session. Thank you so much for joining. I'll see you in the next webinar.